prosperity, happiness, and peace. Be blessed by the divine. குரு வழியாய குணங்களில் நின்று கருவழியாய கணக்கை அறுக்க வருவழி வளமாக அறிவு அறிந்து அன்பு வழி அருளும் குருவே அடிபணிக்கின்றேன். குரு வாழ்க, குருவே துணை. Salutations to my master. Good morning to every one of you. Nice to see you today. Man has invented so many things in our life. However, he has not found himself thoroughly. This means he is yet to find the true being of himself. That is the presence of divinity in him. Once he finds the divinity in him and realize the presence of divinity in him, he can create his life as he wants, and it will be a blissful living. How to find himself thoroughly? That's what all about spirituality. Spirituality guides us the way to make our life journey so blissful by realizing the presence of divinity in us, in everything, everywhere. We all are in this spiritual journey. We all are making progress in this journey. But what is the degree of that progress? What is the degree of spiritual maturity we have attained as of now? That is what the topic for today. What are we going to discuss? What is spirituality? What is maturity? What is true spiritual maturity? What are the indicators that I have got some spiritual maturity, or where I stand in day-to-day life, not just a theoretical knowledge, on day-to-day situations? These are the things we are going to discuss now. Now, what is spirituality? The spirituality is the quality of being concerned with the human spirit in me, or the soul in me, as opposed to material things or physical things in this world. Means we always, from morning to night, we always go after money, materials, power, name and fame, sensual enjoyments. We all go after from morning to night, and that too like a treadmill. We are walking on a treadmill from morning to night. We are in a very always run situation. So we focus more on our wealth, money, power, and etc. But how much I am concerned about the spirit in me? The spirit, the soul, has taken by this physical body as a vehicle to do some objective. Am I aware of it? How much I pay attention to that purpose, that guidance, that quality of being concerned about the spirit in me and the spirit in others. That is called the spirituality. The spirit in me is same as the spirit in you, the spirit in everything, and even the spirit in this car as well. The spirit means the energy particle which is making the body to live or sustain. So it guides us. Spirituality guides us how to realize that spirit and the divinity in that spirit. How can I realize it? So the spirituality gives the way for us to follow it, so that to realize the presence of divinity. It is about seeking a meaningful connection with the infinite potential. Spirituality is nothing but seeking a meaningful connection with the infinite potential, which is called the divinity. Why we have to make progress in spirituality? We all want to make our life so comfortable, so joyful, so enjoyable. For that we need money, wealth, power, position, name and fame, and all that we need it. Unfortunately, if somebody is successful in this materialistic world with 90% wealth, 90% power, he has a supreme authority, for the entire world. Let him be like that. So if somebody is successful with 90% success rate in these materialistic things, and if he has a spiritual maturity of only 10%, then he can enjoy peace only to that 10%. That remaining 80% of wealth, name, fame, power, position, all that is going to disturb his peace, disturb his happiness. He will not be happy with that. So what Maharishi says, the amount of spiritual maturity decides the amount of peace we get from the materialistic world. Very simple. So we need to make spiritual progress. We need to have higher degree of spiritual maturity to enjoy what we earned by hard work, all that. So it is not that after retirement we will go after spirituality. Spirituality is must in whatever I do. If I want peace from that, I need to have spiritual maturity, spiritual maturity. Now, the degree of success, degree of how much success in terms of wealth, power, name, and fame, all can bring happiness or peace to the extent I progress in spirituality. Second one, if I can have more spiritual progress or more higher spiritual maturity, whatever I think it will happen according to that percentage of spiritual maturity. If I am only 50% I have attained in spirituality, the spiritual progress or spiritual maturity, only to that extent, whatever I think it will happen and what is possibly I will think, and only that much is the contentment in my life. There are many people who are contented with their money, their position, but they are not at all happy with the life partner. There are many people who are extremely happy with the life partner, but they are not at all happy with their kids or siblings or friend circle. Or there are people I have seen it, they changed their organization almost in 15 years of life, 20 different companies and 20 different bosses. He never had a good boss. Always with respect to any job, he has a problem with his boss. So contentment, do we have contentment in all walks of life? Why is it not? Definitely some percentage of spiritual maturity, I do not have it. I have to attain it. So why to have a spiritual progress? Number one, to live peacefully. Number two, whatever I want, I have to achieve it. So contented life, I should have it. The third one, the biggest asset we can give to our children is the purest genetic center. The purest genetic center is depending on how much spiritual progress I made. What is a spiritual maturity I have? So all that is very good for me. Not only this, the list goes on. Why I need to have a spiritual maturity? The most important one is, if I have a problem in my life, whether it could be organization or with my wife or with my kids or with neighbor, wherever I have a problem, if I am connected to that infinite potential, if I have a great degree of spiritual maturity, I can find a solution for it. I can fix that problem without wasting much of my energy and time easily, right? So I can solve all my problems without much serious pain or effort. That's another benefit of it. And most important, another one is, every one of us can be a candle for people around me as well. That means we can shed light to others. Whoever is not happy, whoever is not peaceful, whoever is suffering in terms of money, wealth, whatever it is, we can be a good guidance to them as well. Maharishi has given us a temple of consciousness to empower ourselves so that our limited consciousness is enlightened to reach the total consciousness. I have to merge my limited consciousness to the total consciousness, right? That gap is there. That is why he constructed temple of consciousness, where all the techniques, all the life education principles are taught to us so that we can empower ourselves to total consciousness. If we can progress in spirituality, every one of us can be like a temple of consciousness. That is the power of, spirituality. So definitely we need to have spiritual maturity or spiritual progress. Why I use the word spiritual progress or spiritual maturity? What is a big difference? There is no big difference, but maturity is little different from progress in terms of um, in terms of application. Okay, I mean, what I mean is, I will tell you, we can track our spiritual progress by means of spiritual maturity. How can I track it? How much spiritual maturity I have it? For example, in daily life, some guest came home for dinner, or evening snacks or coffee or whatever it is, and or dinner, and wife prepared a puri to serve to the guest. So now the wife started giving puris, and the guest is taking it, and this host is also taking it, and the wife came after 20 minutes of eating. She says, "Take one more puri." And that guest says, "Oh, no, no, enough, enough. I have had, I had 5 puris, so it's enough for me." No, you took 9. If the wife says it, for example, she literally counted it, how many puris she kept it on the plate, and how many puris he did it. But when she wanted him to take one more puri, he said, take one more, take one more. This fellow, he doesn't want to tell 9, or he didn't count. I don't know, but he says that, "Oh, no, enough, enough, enough. I had 5." So this lady says 9. That means her maturity is really not enough. Though it is a truth, she should not tell to the guest. That maturity, she doesn't have it. But when the guest, not only on the same guest, any guest comes to home next time, she will never tell the truth, whatever it is, about the number of puris or chapatis or whatever she served, how much she may stop even counting it. So the maturity comes based on the experiences we have from morning to night, every day, the maturity comes. Unfortunately, the spiritual maturity doesn't have any connection with our day-to-day life. That lady got matured by telling something wrong, realizing the mistake. Husband told her, "How can you tell like that?" And she changed. And she got maturity. But in terms of spiritual maturity, it is nothing to do with the outside experiences, what we go through it. Why we say like that? Some person at the age of 85, for example, and this guy says that some argument between husband and wife. So there is a fight between them, and the wife got angry. So the wife is telling to the husband, who is 85-year-old, she says that, "I have been doing good to you for so many years now, 60 years. Even if you search the entire world, you won't get a wife like me." The wife is telling with an angry voice. Immediately, the 85-year-old husband says to her, "Am I mad to search a lady like you?" This was his response. Now, what kind of spiritual maturity here? 85-year-old, lot of life experiences, but he doesn't reflect even 1% of spiritual maturity. So the first understanding we should have it, what we go through in daily life, that need not give me spiritual maturity. Then what is spiritual maturity? The spiritual maturity is nothing but how far, how deep I travel inside me, how I travel how successfully, how depth, how far I make my inner journey, how much I travel inside me to realize the presence of divinity, how close to that divinity, and how deep I am close to the divinity. Yeah, when I do Turiya Deep meditation, oh my God, I literally frozen in absolute space. I don't know what happened. No thoughts, nothing. Excellent. I was very close in my inner journey. Unfortunately, after the meditation is over, I started finding a mistake with my wife, and I asked a question, why it is like that? Why you didn't close it? Gone. Spiritual maturity, zero at that moment of time. So the spiritual maturity is how far I am able to travel within me, how depth I am able to travel me, how consistently I am able to travel within me. That is called spiritual maturity. So now, how much I have attained spiritual maturity in day-to-day life. There are so many conversations we have from morning to night. For example, always there is a fight with between husband and wife. For example, I will just give an example for you to think about a real life situation. Then analyze where what spiritual maturity should be there at that particular moment, right? For example, wife says that there is a fight between husband and wife, and the husband stopped talking to the wife. Now one day is gone. So the wife is telling to the husband, if you are not talking to me, you know, tomorrow if I am not there, it's a serious problem for you. You will suffer lifelong. Something like that. Seriously, she is telling to her husband, why you are not talking to me? You know, that scholar had said, husband and wife may have a problem, but it should be resolved immediately by talking to each other. But you are not talking to me. And immediately husband says, I am sure you check that scholar, he might not have married at all. That is why he says that husband can solve the problem by talking. The problem started because of talking. How that stupid fellow can tell? Now this husband is putting his views on that scholar's point when wife told that, hey, you please talk to me. You are always telling I am busy. I have no time. I have that job. I have this job. Then why you got married? Now she's again coming back. She's continuing her fight with him. And this fellow says, see, how can I live with a stupid like you? Last week I said I have a back pain. What you told me? How much is the back pain? I don't have a fever to measure how much fever I have by measuring using a thermometer. I said I have a back pain. How can I measure how much is the back pain? You are so stupid. And I have already spent 10 years with you. How can I continue to live like this? Now, this fellow is arguing like this when she simply asked how much is the back pain. This fellow, if he has some maturity, he should have told severe pain or moderate pain or light pain, whatever it is. He doesn't need a thermometer to measure it, in fact. But this guy's thinking is like that when wife tells it. So now in all that situation, what kind of spiritual maturity the wife had, what level of spiritual maturity the husband had? Think for a minute. Identify yourself where they failed. Can I give 2 minutes time for you to put it in chat box? In this conversation, what do you think the spiritual maturity was not at all there? And you can also think for a minute, if spiritual maturity is there, how he could have handled that situation. Just for a thinking, you feel free, whatever you think, to share. Any comments? Means I just said an example that they are fighting to each other. She wanted to talk, but husband is not ready to talk, and he is giving some explanation. And he says back pain, and she's asking how much pain, and he's upset with it as well. This is the dialogue, normal dialogue. What do you think the spiritual maturity, where it went wrong, or he doesn't have a spiritual maturity? No worries. I will start. Um, uh, I may share with you some 8 or 9 points or 9 indicators for spiritual maturity. Cannot. Okay, no issue at all. No issue. Fine. Now, excellent. Okay, let's go one by one. No spiritual maturity. Absolutely, yes. No spiritual maturity, and yeah, I fully understand. Excellent. No worries at all. There are some messages to me privately. Totally, she's wrong. Yes, perfect. Totally, she's wrong. Okay. He is also wrong. Excellent. Yes, I just picked up some conversation where both were wrong. Patience. Okay. There is no patience followed by excellent. Okay, good. All good. Fine. Now let's go through some points logically based on Maharishi's teaching. Okay, first point: why this situation to me? Why the reality is not as per my expectation? Why, when husband says I have a back pain, when she asks how much is the pain, why this fellow is responding like that, and why she is also responding like that? Due to karma. Oh, excellent. Very nice. So the first point is the problems what we get. Whatever happens around me, if it is not as per my expectation, the reality is different from my expectation. That gives me some pain to me, right? So I feel that as a painful situation because she's not right, she's not obeying, or she's not doing. No love between them. Perfect. So now why all these problems or challenges are coming to me? It is because of my negative karma. My negative karma will bring me either as a mental agitation. That means whatever I think, it will not happen. Not whatever, many cases it may not happen. So that I feel that that's a pain. And because of that pain, negative karma is purified, removed, or it will come as a disease. So the first question I will ask, why I get that problem? Because I have negative karma. Maharishi has written in a beautiful poem, Vinay Padivam, means we are born to get rid of negative karma. After birth, I forgot why I am born and what I am supposed to do. God, please, save me to realize you. Something like that, he wrote a poem. So we all are born to get rid of our negative karma. And as long as I have a negative karma, whatever I think, it may not happen. Whether it is with husband or wife or kid or neighbor or boss or anybody, that reality will not match with my expectation. So the number one point, Maharishi says, the problems, whatever I get in my life, in a way, it is purifying my karma. It is an opportunity for me to get rid of my negative karma. God has created that situation to remove my negative karma. As long as I have negative karma, I will get problems. So Maharishi says, the best medicine to remove my past karma is simply accepting the people as they are, accepting the situation as it is. Step number one. Whatever happens around me, unless I accept it. And what is the degree of acceptance I have? That is the degree of spiritual maturity I have. So at the age of 85, that fellow says, when the wife said, I will not, I have been so good to you as a wife. And that guy says, am I mad to look for a lady like you? So, what kind of thinking he has it. So the problem is because of negative karma, and I have to accept as they are. This is point number one. If I don't accept it, the current problem is due to my past karma. But when I face the effect of my past karma, I am generating another negative karma, and the problem will keep on continuing it. Or new problem will come, even if temporarily the problem is sorted out. So Maharishi says, don't add new karma. That means that is the first fold moral principle. Out of two moral principles, the first one is don't keep paying. I have to accept. If I don't accept it, don't have the spiritual maturity. This is the very fundamental indicator of spiritual maturity. From morning to night, how much I pay. Actually, it happened last Friday, and I realized my mistake after I hear this from somebody who was there. There was a small conversation, right? And you know that I think the marks, the CBSE marks were published, right? So I was with 4 or 5 people, and somebody joined there. And the moment they joined, and he was telling that my daughter got 98 94% or something, she was telling that. Then I really congratulated them, I really appreciated them, and then I also told that, see, you as a parent, you have done your job so great, so well. Really, you have supported the kids to score this much mark, and you might have given more. All that I just read 2, 3 sentences, not more than 30 seconds or 40 seconds. That's it. The conversation was over, and then he left, I left. And next day morning, I got a call from one of the person who was there in that group. Okay. And not actually, she was a lady. So she said, Anna, I mean, brother, right? And I was upset. Oh, why you were upset? Because you appreciated them, and the appreciating others is excellent. But you forgot that my son also wrote exam. Same, he's in the same age, and he didn't score that much mark. You should have appreciated when I was not there. Now, she was upset from that morning until next day, until she told. Now I have to really tell that I'm so sorry. I apologize. I didn't think like that, and I learned a lesson now. I will never appreciate anybody in front of others if they are also connected to the same subject, right? Okay, if they don't have any son and no plus two is over and he has scored 100 out of 100, perfect. How careful we should be, right? So the first point is acceptance. Do I give any pain to others, or if I give pain, I have not accepted it? That is the problem, right? Even if you accept it and even if you appreciate it, pain is gone. To somebody who was just standing there, listening to what she was telling, what they were telling, and what I was telling. So we may have to really, if you go further deep into it, you will get problems like this as well. The people will think in a different dimension, which you can never imagine that it could have hurted somebody. But yes, it hurt. She is right. Only we need to change. Let us talk about our spiritual maturity. Okay. So we have to make sure the situation is created because of my past karma. I have no other choice other than accepting it. If I don't accept it, I create new sin. This new sin is going to create more problems for me, if not now, in future. If not in future, it will come as a disease for me. This is the point one indicator of spiritual maturity. Now the second point. Okay, I have to accept it. My husband is telling that don't talk to me. He stopped talking one day before because of a small fight. And you want to just accept it, okay, let him not talk, I will keep quiet. Is this a spiritual maturity? No, not at all. Acceptance is fine. One of the person, actually one of my cousin presented me a book last December. One book in Tamil, one book in English. And I started because now I go to India now next month, and I'm sure I will meet him. I have to give him some positive feedback that hey, the book is nice. For that, I must read it. Unfortunately, when December he gave it, I didn't bring the books here because I was having enough luggage and I don't have time to read books, so I didn't bring it. But March I went there. I thought I have to at least have a quick glance to give him some feedback, or he may ask me as well, Uncle, how was the book? So I need to give him a response. So I thought that I will take one book. So I brought the book. First chapter, first paragraph was talking about this. What is spiritual maturity? Unfortunately, the topic is something totally irrelevant, but the first chapter is. And after reading that first page only, I gave the topic for my discussion as spiritual maturity also. Okay. So the what is spiritual maturity? That sage, I'm sure he is a great realized Mahan. And he answers like that. The spiritual maturity is nothing but knowing that nothing can be changed. That's all. Spirituality is knowing that nothing can be changed. When I read this first statement, first line, I am not at all happy. I totally disagree with that statement. I didn't want to continue reading it. I closed the book and started doing another job. Then again, I know that no, he cannot be wrong. I didn't read it fully. So I wanted to read that fully. So I started reading the first chapter, which was about 38 pages. Maybe in 10 days' time or 15 days' time, whenever I had time, I went through it a couple of pages. The whole chapter talks about spiritual maturity is nothing but knowing that nothing can be changed. Because when I read it, Maharishi's words are flashing across my mind. Vivekananda's statement is flashing. You can achieve anything and everything. One says, yeah, whatever you want, however you want, whenever you want, what quality you want, you can get it. Maharishi says, fraction demand, totality supplies. You ask for it, universe will give it. My God. He says maturity is knowing that nothing can be changed. What a contradictory principle between two sages. I'm sure I didn't read the book fully yet, but I know that he has written something else in the following chapters. I don't know. I haven't read it. But I am very clear that, can I ask one question? Is this right? What that person say, what that sage says, nothing can be changed, right? So whether it is true or not, 100% true. It is 100% correct statement that nothing can be changed. We have to understand first that statement. Why he might have made that statement. Let us understand through Vedatriyam principles as well. We know that Maharishi has given us great explanation about the law of cause and effect. What the law of cause and effect says, for every action, there is a result. Excellent. For every action, there is a result. I ate quarter kg alwa morning 6 o'clock. At 10 o'clock, I have a stomach pain. The stomach pain is because of my past action, because I took quarter kg alwa. For that wrong action, I have an effect which is a pain. Now, can I change the effect now? Can I change the situation now? If you think, Maharishi has made it very clear. We have 100% control on all our actions, all our karma. Whatever I think, whatever I speak, whatever I do. I have absolutely no control on the results of the actions. When the result will come, how the result will come, through whom it should come, what degree it should come, it will come in like an installment, or it will come in at one phase, one pain, finished. Karma is gone. That particular action, that result is gone. No, absolutely, we have no control on the results. Then what can I change? How can I change? Nothing can be changed because it is not in my control. The result is not in my control. So how can I change anything? So that Mahan is so correct, nothing can be changed. Absolutely, he is right. When I first read it, my consciousness is in this level. So I said, sorry, I can't accept it. He is totally against Vedatriyam principle, which I follow. Close it. I don't want to read it, right? And then only I know he cannot be wrong because we know it. Okay, so he is right. Now the second point is we have to understand we have no control on the effects. We have the full control on our action. If I have no control on effects, I have to first think nothing can be changed. Maharishi says, don't keep any expectation. Higher the expectation, higher the degree of disappointment I will get in life. I read somewhere, and I have been seeing it is happening. If you go after something at one point of time, that will run away from you. If I run away from something, that will keep on chasing me. Think for a minute in your life, in your neighbor's life, relative's life, you will find that it is good, it is true, because that is what his plan is, for us to change, not to chase something, not to run away from something. When attachment is required, detachment is essential. You have to detach yourself. If not, you run after something without detachment, there is a problem. So the second important point, indicator of spiritual maturity, is expectation. Why I should have expectation? Because result is not in my hands. Very simple. If I don't have expectation, will I have any fear on my future? Will I have any worry about my future? If I don't have any fear, if I don't have any worry, then absolutely I have no expectation. Correct? So the fear and worry are the side effect of having an expectation, right? So no expectation. This is second indicator of spiritual maturity. Third indicator of spiritual maturity. Okay, I accept everything as they are, and I don't have any expectation. So husband will not talk. And why I should expect that husband should talk to me and should fix this problem so that we enjoy a peace at home at least? No. How can I do it? Here is a third spiritual indicator, spiritual maturity indicator, which is very, very important. What that sage have said, nothing can be changed. It is true only for some time. It is not true after that. That means you can achieve anything and everything. Fraction, demand, totality, supplies, absolutely correct. Law of attraction works. But before I go to that, am I eligible to get what I want in my life? To become eligible, for example, I went for vacation last month, 15 days. Now this month I want another 15 days. Will my boss give me the leave or not? That purely depends on, not on the job. That purely depends on how good I am with my boss. If my boss knows me very well, this fellow is not going for picnic. He has a serious problem, so he is taking a leave. And I have been so good with him. Then he will, no problem. I know. You don't need to explain. Carry on. Take 15 days. If you want 20 days, be there, fix the problem and come. We will manage it. It is our headache. You don't worry about it. If boss tells me like this, I should have a good relationship with him. Otherwise, this will not happen. Right? So in that way, if I have to achieve what I want in my life from the big boss, first of all, did I accept whatever he gave? If I have any faults, if I find any problem, any fault in my wife, why she is telling like that? Why she is giving me coffee like hot water? If I find fault, I am not accepting what God gives me. If I don't accept it, leave is not sanctioned. What I want in my life, God will not sanction. So the eligibility to achieve what I want in my life is to first accept what God has given us. That is why that sage says, you believe nothing can be changed. Then expectation will not come. If I believe nothing can be changed, where the question of expectation in my life? No expectation will come. But Maharishi says, we can't just like that, we can't live like a cow or a dog. It doesn't have sixth sense. We have sixth sense. In fact, we are one level upper than, higher than divinity. Maharishi says at one, if you look at the divinity in one dimension, we are at one level up because we know about the divinity. We know how divinity is functioning. We know how to become one with the divinity so that we can also enjoy like a bliss, as a blissful life. We can live like a blissful, we can live like a divinity, right? So, in order to achieve what I want in my life, acceptance is required. Expectation is not required. The third point is why divinity is giving me a problem. First one is getting rid of karma. Absolutely right. Then why it should not give all the problem at from age 20 to 25, close all the karma. After 25, everybody is living a blissful life. No, God is not giving like that. He is giving an installment. Until death happens, problems are there. Why it is so? That is because, that is the important point. Third point is, problems are coming to us for us to change. What character I should change? What action I should change? If I look into it, problems will disappear. Or I will be able to fix the problem with little effort. And the problem will not continue. For example, somebody is complaining, my husband is not caring about the health and he is not eating at the right time and he is not doing any exercise and he is sleeping late night. And she has been complaining for 18 years. Where is the problem? Problem is not with the husband. Problem is with the wife, because God wants her to change, then he will change. But in daily life, what is happening in terms of spiritual maturity? We want to manage everybody in my life. My wife, starting from my wife, T-boy, boss, all around me. I want to control. I want to manage. I want them to think as I think. I want dosa as I expect. My God, gone. there is no spiritual maturity here. So every problem in my day-to-day life is for me to change, not God is giving this opportunity to make change in others. No. Maharishi has said in one of the places that you are born not to control or manage anybody. Full stop. I am not here to control or manage anyone. That is a sign of spiritual maturity, because that is eligibility for her to change. If my wife has to change, I have to transform. I have to change. Now my consciousness is become same as total consciousness. Now I know why she's not doing it. Where is the problem? What is the solution? I do it. She will change. This is the spiritual maturity. So that we need to follow it. That is a third indicator of spiritual maturity. Whether I fully accepted or I did not accept it, whether I have expectation or I don't have an expectation, whether I changed myself or not, all that you can assess ourselves by seeing how I am approaching, how is my attitude. For example, wife says that on the street, husband and wife are going with the bags of luggage, and there is a temple. Wife says, "Hey, you don't believe in God. No worries. Please stand here. I will keep the luggage and shuffle here. I will go and pray and come in 2 minutes." Okay, she went there, she prayed it, came back, and husband asked, "Okay, let's go." The wife is asking, "Do you know what I prayed to the God?" "Oh, I don't know. I prayed to the God that in my next birth also, you should be my husband. That is what I prayed to the God." And she expecting that he will be so happy. But husband said, "I don't believe in God, but now I believe in God. You just wait for 2 minutes. I will also pray and come." Okay. Now wife was waiting. Husband went there and came back. And wife asked, "What did you pray?" "I don't want any more birth." Because he doesn't want that wife to be there. But both live together happily because the wife is so happy that he is expecting him to be the next husband also, next birth also husband. That means this fellow, how he lived, I can't imagine. But she's so happy to get him as a next birth husband. So that means he lived so happily with her, but not 100% that accepted. Because the way he prayed, it shows acceptance is not 100%. Still, there is a lot of expectation in it. So that is the kind of spiritual maturity. Okay, so I should change. No expectation. And the first one is nothing can be changed. Acceptance as they are. These are the points so far we have discussed it. And the next important point is, okay, I accept it. I have to change it. And I am not going to have any expectation. And I started having a change. What change I have it? In my character, in my attitude, in my action, all that I look for to change. Now, Maharishi says here, the fourth important point, you can achieve anything and everything, Vivekananda says, Maharishi says, if I want that particular result, though it is not in my hand, you work out to make sure all your actions are bringing that result. Though expectation should not be there, but still you can work on it. And if you accepted what God has given, definitely your intuition will help you what you should do to achieve what you want in my life. The spiritual maturity, that person will live as per the guidance of intuition. He will not use his intelligence. In fact, one more point I have written, if you want to enjoy happy, harmonious relationship with anyone, not only life partner, don't use your intelligence. That is the sixth point. The fifth point is spiritual maturity. The person who has a higher degree of spiritual maturity, he lives based on his intuition. Buffet dinner is there. Whether I should take chapati or puri, intuition will tell, no, today you take puri, chapati, no. We know logically, puri is worse than chapati because it is boiled in oil. Whereas chapati, only lighter amount of oil is there on the surface, right? We know. But intuition can tell me, no, don't take today chapati, now take puri. Perfect. So intuitive power is so good for spiritually matured person. That's the fourth point. Fifth point, I should not exhibit, I should not prove my intelligence to the other person. Full stop. If I try to prove it, like that conversation, all conversation, everybody wants to prove themselves. Whether I have that or not, simple. If I argue with my wife on anything, my spiritual maturity is less. No question of argument. Maybe there is a conflict, there is a difference of opinion. Absolutely fine. Difference of opinion should come and must come. It will be there. That is why partners are made together, made for each other. Karma will not go off. So difference of opinion should be there, but not in terms of argument, in terms of discussion without hurting each other, without hurting the ego of other person. Hey, you think you want to go movie, but I heard this movie is not good. If you still want, I will go. I will come with you. But he is telling like that. Why don't you check with somebody else? Wife wanted to go to movie. Simple. But you don't want to go for a movie. And that to that particular movie, you will be like a crazy guy after watching that movie, because you know traditionally that person is like that. Now, obviously, she likes it. I don't like it. But it can be resolved without hurting each other discussion. Right? So that is how it should. So I should not try to prove I am more intelligent than you. That should be avoided. That's the fifth point. Sixth point, what he says, spiritual maturity means others first. Actually, the next point of spiritual maturity is, the next point of spiritual matured person is duty first. What next? Anything, whatever happens around me. What is my duty here? What next? Okay, wife is telling the husband, wife is telling that you will not talk, you are so busy. Why you got married? Why? What is my duty here? Why she is upset? How can I, what is my responsibility here? What is my duty here? How can I do my duty? That's all. Duty is always first for spiritual matured person. He doesn't care about anything else. So duty. Maharishi has given in one poem, divine thinking and duty. These are the two things. If anybody can catch it 24 hours, super. He will reach the destination so soon. Always, everybody is divine. And what is my responsibility here? What is my duty here? How can I do the duty as per following rules without giving pain and all that, right? And the next indicator of spiritual maturity is others first, myself last. So, Pirar Thevai, Maharishi has given in one poem, always realize the need, the desire of other person. Accordingly, you change to do your duty. That's all. So I have to perform my duty, of course, in a truthful manner, not in an immoral manner, in a moral, within the definition of morality. I have to perform my duty, but not by keeping my self-interest as first, keeping others' interest first. That is a kind of another indicator of spiritually matured person. What is my duty and others first, self last. The next one is the spiritually matured person. His happiness doesn't depend on materials, money, power, name and fame, sensual enjoyment, or the people, nothing like that. You are not at all attracted to any of that, but you will enjoy it. I may have a very excellent phone, absolutely fine. But if I don't have that particular brand, if I am upset, I am not a spiritually matured person, because I have an attachment with the materials. So materialistic attachment, sensual attachment is a big problem. Even attachment with the people, that is called affection, is also bad according to Maharishi. Love is good, affection is bad. Love knows, love has eyes. Affection doesn't have eyes, blind. It can do anything for affection, right? So this is the problem. So we have to come out of material consciousness or the physical consciousness to the spiritual consciousness. That degree of spiritual consciousness decides the degree of spiritual maturity I have. So that is another indicator of how much I am attached to these materials or physical things in life. And the next one is, the last one is, how content I am in my life. Contentment. If I don't like this, or if I should not hate anybody, I should not hate anything or any situation, right? I am everything, whatever happens around me, it happens with 100% perfection because it's a divine order. He knows everything. I may not understand why it is happening, but everything is happening in a perfect order. Total consciousness, consciousness itself is order of function in everything. Perfectly happening. How can I find fault? If I find fault, I'm insulting God because God is doing everything. How can I find fault? So, contentment. Everything is perfect. I don't have, even if somebody cuts my one hand, oh, left hand is still there. Very nice. Why I should get upset? It is his plan. Everything is happening as per his plan, not his plan, my karma. But he decide when to give, how to give. That's all he decides. Punishment is there for my past karma, but when to execute that, he has it. That is a power he has it, right? So, contentment is the greatest spiritual maturity indicator of spiritual maturity. So, with all that, I conclude today's lecture by saying one simple thing. Whatever happens around me in my daily life, am I a peacemaker or a troublemaker? That decides the degree of spiritual maturity. Whatever happens around me, my reaction is bringing peace or disturbing the peace or creating a problem. Am I a peacemaker or troublemaker? That's it. If I am, whatever I speak, whatever I think, whatever I do, if it is creating peace, I am progressing. If it is creating a trouble, I am not in the spiritual ladder. That's all. So, peacemaker or troublemaker. How much content I have in my life. Let us all work together. Let us all work with this understanding to achieve more and more degree of spiritual maturity. So with this, I conclude. Thank you so much for listening. And if you have any questions, please. Thank you.